Hey, it's Marcus Washington, MTC Media here. Georgetown finally gets back into that winning column, 73-70 over Butler. Um, it was a team. This looked like a game where both teams feel like we need a win tonight, and this is a game that we can win. And for tonight, it was Georgetown that pulled off that win. They were led by Micah Peavy's 19 points and 9 rebounds. Thomas Sorber chipped in with 19 points and 5 rebounds. Malik Mack, who started off this game shooting rough, he ended up with 14.6 assists, and more importantly, only 2 turnovers. And on the other end, and we talked about this in pregame, Finley Bizjack led Butler with 17. Andre Screen, and we'll talk a little bit more about him later, had 16 points and 6 rebounds. But I really thought this team contained Pierre Brooks, who, if you look at it, 7 for 12, 14 points, but the impact wasn't there. And we talked about McCaffrey in the pregame, and he finished with 11 points and 7 rebounds, but he didn't get a lot of his until late. But going back to the first half, where I thought, at halftime, the score was 37-36. Butler was up by 1. And I thought the big thing for Butler was how Screen matched Thomas. They were both 10 and 2 in the first half. Screen came off the bench. For those who are familiar with him, he is from this area, St. Stephen, St. Agnes, and then he went to Bucknell before transferring into Butler. I thought he got some really, really deep post-ups on Thomas in the first half, and he did a great job. I mean, I did not come in here having on the bingo card that Screen and Thomas would have tremendous impacts against each other coming into the game. But as the game wore on, and I was kind of surprised that Screen at first in the second half didn't play as much as I thought he would. Now, he did end up with 30 minutes, almost 31 minutes, but I was no surprised. And Thomas just kept going. Thomas was great from 2 levels today. He scored off the bounce. He scored in the first half this beautiful face-up from a midi when Screen kind of had his hands down. He scored, with them throwing the ball in the post. It was just one of those games where he showed you a lot and showed you more than the numbers. And I know he's been great this freshman year. He showed you more than the numbers. He was great against Providence with the 25 and 15, where the numbers showed it. I don't think that the 19 and 5 did justice. As great as those numbers are, I don't think it did justice to how good he was out here today on both ends of the floor. Georgetown, I know in my pregame, I can't believe I'm saying this, but in my pregame, I said Georgetown's 3-point shooting would be a key. They shot 2 for 17, right? And they shot 2 for 17 from 3, and they got to 70 points, something that they had not been doing, that Cooley had been complaining about. It's like, we got to get to 70 to win. They get to 73 today, shooting 2 for 17 and only attempting 13 free throws. So it's not one of these ones where you're 2 for 17 from 3 and you attempted, 25 free throws. They only shot 13 free throws, made 9 of them, thankfully, but only shot 13 free throws, yet they were able to convert down the stretch. I'm telling you, Georgetown goes through these stretches where they can't score. They let Butler back in the game after being up by 11 points here in the second half, because they just went, Georgetown will go through these 5 minutes. It was almost a 5-minute stretch. It was 4 minutes and something, but they just could not score. And that has killed them in some games where a game has been even, or Georgetown have been winning, with the exception of these little, like, a 4.5-minute pocket here, and stuff like that. And they went through that today. This time their defense saves them. Again, they did an excellent job on McCaffrey. Bizjack, I know statistically he had a good game. He was 2 for 4 from 3. One of the threes he banked in. And he got a layup. He got 2 layups when Georgetown was trying not to foul at the end. And right there, that is 7 of those points of the 17 that he had. It's kind of, I don't want to say in garbage time, because you could say the game was still, kind of still undecided, because especially the first layup, because I think the first layup cut it to 3. And Georgetown knew that they were going to foul them on the inbounds. And then, like I said, the layup at the end, and then the banked in 3 was at the beginning of the half. He just banked in the 3. So outside of that, Georgetown was great defensively. And once again, I don't think that necessarily the numbers showed how good they were defensively, because you look at the numbers and you say, Marcus, how can you say they were good defensively? Butler shot 48% for the game and 50% in the second half. So why are you saying that they played well defensively? It came in moments. First of all, they forced the 13 turnovers, would help them play more into transition and secondary transition. And they get this huge stop by Curtis Williams, and he deserves the credit. If you go back and look at the block shot that Sorber gets late on the three, it is because Curtis, with a perfect, if you were doing a clinic on what stunt and recover should look like, Curtis's stunt and recover was that daggum good. And that's what led to the block three. Curtis was not good offensively. He seemed a little hesitant. He was 0 for 2. He seemed hesitant. Defensively, he's gotten better. And I don't know if his defense is taken away from his offense, because he knows the defense is, he can get more minutes. If he defends, then if he comes out on offense, because you get more minutes on offense. If you want to be one way and you get, and it's going to be offense, then you're going to have to shoot it well every time you're out there. If not, if you're not getting anything else, you sit. So Curtis's defense today was terrific, and Malik Mack, again, 6 assists and 2 turnovers. All this stuff is done without Jaden Epps, who didn't play today. All of this stuff. So you got the 70 points. You shoot 2 for 17 from 3, and you missing Jaden Epps, and you come with a Big East win to kind of get you back in there. Georgetown moved to 5-6 in the Big East, which kind of puts them in the lower middle, but it's kind of jammed up there, and it's just one win at a time. I think they head to Xavier next. That's going to be a tough one, but it's one win at a time. But as I've told you, Georgetown has a formula to win. And that seems like a low bar, but it's not a low bar. They have a formula to win. I say the same thing about George Mason with Tony Skinn. They're sitting in first place at Atlantic 10. They have a formula for their roster to win. Georgetown has a formula for this roster to win. The thing that has dogged them has been turnovers and these lulls on offense. That's the thing that has gotten them. But they have a formula, and you saw it tonight, and they gritted one out. They gritted one out 73-70 over Butler. You guys have a good day. You will see me tomorrow. Next stop is Charlottesville, UVA, Virginia Tech. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.